I will do a sort of a commentary, if you will, on the recent Hip Hop 50 live concert that took place
Right.
yesterday at Yankee Stadium in New York, of course. How I stumbled upon it was pretty funny as well, but I was out, like I was aware of the event, but how I was able to see it is just pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But when
I
we get
mean,
to that point,
it could have used just better promotion ahead of time. I felt that's my only problem with it, but I thought it was good. Like for what it
yeah,
was, Master P and Nas put it together, and it was really really well done.
yes,
And this kind of coming off of the release of his recent album.
hmm
But it's who you get. He get real good people.
yes,
It's just I really thought it would have been a bigger like hype event in terms of like the actual event itself, but it was still like solid outright, and like they're watching it. But it was small and it workable, but I really felt it should have had more hype ahead of it. Going into it, and he should have. I suppose he didn't want to promise anybody or promise anything in particular, but yeah, he bring out as much people as he could. A lot of it is New York, but hip hop is New York, so can't be mad at that. But yeah, I who we get to see, a couple of namesakes, right? If you get that reference, was showed up, and they really did a good job with a lot of it, and homages, people who passed, and whatnot, and they make it work. That's it was very long. It was like a close to 8 hours. I skimmed through most of it. I just skimmed through like a performances, and then I didn't download. I actually downloaded the entire thing straight from YouTube, as a
all
file. So
right.
I go
That's a smart call. That's a
right.
smart
So
call.
I
Yeah.
just I gotta watch it like properly and get some the full performances. But I watch something involving when Nas himself and a couple other performances. I saw Cameron's performance. I just watched through like most of what they say. Okay, I wait for D Block and them and the usual, but that's about it. I know it had some DMX stuff playing in the early days, but I didn't listen to all of that because it was just the music playing. Stuff like that. I really wish I thought the crowd kind of sucked, to be honest. Again, I get the feeling that they just didn't hype up to bring a bigger crowd to come out. Because to me, because actual like concert stuff going on, I think that suck up the energy for that. So they ain't go get like Kendrick Lamar and other people to come through because it's like, yeah, well, it's not a thing. So stuff like that now because I think they're performing somewhere else. I forget where they're performing right now because I know Kendrick Lamar and Janelle Monáe doing some summer stuff right now. I forget where it is exactly. Um, so stuff like that. So I get a feeling it couldn't organize given the timing of it. But I really felt they probably should have make a better effort and ahead of time in terms of organization to get this to come together better. But yeah, that is about it. I can't be mad at any of it. It works and it's really good. Uh, yeah, I really enjoyed this overall. I enjoy it as much as I should have. I really felt they should have had a better structure of organization ahead of time. But it's pretty good for what it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I might as well, just start things off with that, and then we could jump into like TV shows and whatnot afterwards, right? So yeah.
Sure.
So funny thing is, right? So while I was prepping for one of the retrospect reviews, right? When I was done, this was like roughly like 7 p.m., right? I just went on YouTube just to see if anybody I know, any like creator that I follow put up something new, right? And I just see, what Hip Hop 50 streaming live. I'm like, really? Because
Yeah.
when it was announced, this was like a while back, right? And I know there was the Rock the Bells one that I think took place earlier this week, right?
Right.
So when I realized that, oh well, Rock the Bells wasn't live streamed, so okay, fine. I just sort of wrote off this thing now.
Right.
So I just there tell myself, well, all right, well, hip hop turned 50, I guess see nothing, you know what I mean? And before I forget, I should mention too, yesterday as well, we had World Steel Pan Day,
Right. Right.
which
Yeah.
also should have been promoted very well because from what I saw online, there was this certain event. I don't want to call it a concert, but sort of an event that took place in Port of Spain, and I just sort of made the joke,
Right.
even though it's kind of true. Yeah, why had it be if it's World Steel Pan Day, then why are all the festivities going to be delegated to just Port of Spain? Like I understand it's Port of Spain, and
Right.
everything
Yeah, they
is
could have
all
make
about Port of
again.
Spain, but bro, it's Steel Pan though. So why did not have nothing in
Yeah.
Sando or Arima or Kirep or Sawa? Why there?
Yeah. They make a yeah again. Much like with whole hip hop thing, it's just promotion wise ahead of time. We should have been They should have been making noise about it ahead of time. Like right now in Trinidad, we're going through our by election or it is a local government election, which seem to be there's a ton of energy and money going into this for some reason, and that's also sucking up the oxygen. Because all of a sudden people give a shit about local government
Yeah,
elections. However,
and
but
it just
yeah, right. That
oh gosh, digging back up those old promos, you know what I mean, those old P&M promos, like oh god, like I haven't heard those things in a long while. We hearing this
yeah,
shit
you know the same.
again.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, the same bullshit. But yeah, no, but with that no, you know, the whole conceit of just promotion and what you're hearing and thing. And I just thought I would have seen more stuff online. You know, TikTok, I thought would have pull up some stuff to show me. And it's just, well, no, the promotion just not there because nobody focus on it. It just kind of suck up the energy, unfortunately. Same thing with this hip hop thing. I felt because it's summer concerts and other summer concerts being thing, it's not a thing. That's why, you know, the same thing. It just, you know, where the timing just kind of bad and nobody didn't think about it ahead of time too much to make it work now. But that's about it. Whatever.
yeah. So long story short, I was just there and I just see oh it live streaming okay, and I
Well,
see
the thing is,
from
I knew it was going to live stream. I
oh
just didn't think, I just don't know it would have, I just don't know it would have been this small because I was thinking, oh well, people go and show up in person. But like the actual physical crowd itself was kind of not that big, and they're not really
yeah.
hyping up themselves. I mean, it was big, but I mean, for something the size of Yankee Stadium, it should be like packed and noise
Exactly.
and crowd and thing, and it wasn't that. Yeah,
Yeah, and especially like in the first few hours, right? Well, basically where the sun was still out, right, so to speak, right? So
yeah,
I basically saw 7 of the 8 hours, right? Because in my mind,
right,
I tell myself, yes, you could. I know for sure Mass Appeal, which by the way is the record label owned by Nas himself. We'll talk about him later.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know that it'll be available on their YouTube account, right? Like it have to be, right? Because not like everybody would have
yeah,
tuned in, Friday night to see it, right? But I was like, it's one of those FOMO kind of moments that I had where it's like,
right,
all right, I'm seeing
right,
this. I'm seeing because when I came in, I saw Curtis Blue performing the breaks and a few other songs, right? So I was like, all right, I'm
right.
in it, and I'm a hip hop fan, and I'm doing this hip hop podcast, so I kind of have to be there, and it's about the culture, so I could like I could look back and be like, I was there, even though physically I wasn't there, right? So little
Okay,
did I know that
to be
this thing
fair,
would have ran on literally for like,
right,
7 more hours and literally wraps up
right,
close to 2 a.m., right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
right. What I'll say, to be fair, I just felt it probably was a mistake going to a Yankee Stadium, because it probably could have been in a smaller spot and be more like akin to a block party. Um, so if it was smaller with that same amount of people, it probably would have feel better now, as a space now. But then again, you don't know how big that crowd could have grew. So that might have been irresponsible having a relatively small spot. So I try to just like, be as charitable as I can with that kind of project management now. That's the only thing. I just think the space was probably just too big, to be honest. Because again, if they had it like just a block party or something akin to a block party, it probably would have been more hype, like where the cameras are and how much people there and crowd density, if anything. Now, because that's my problem with it. Like you just not feeling the crowd watching it now. That's all. That's my only issue with it. But given what we get to see, and again, it does ramp up later. Yeah, it was decent, all things considered. That's all. That's all I feel about it.
Yeah, it was, right? So I'll just do like just this brief run through of the stuff that took place, right? So in the earlier set, right, the stuff that like literally was taking place when the sun was still out, right? So I saw Curtis Blow, the Sugar
Right.
Hill Gang showed up alongside Grandmaster Caz and Melly Mel.
Right.
Well, before we get to Melly Mel, before we get to him,
Right. Right. You're right.
Roxanne Shanti showed up right after Curtis Blow. That was really cool. And you'll talk about her later on with with the ladies first docu series, right? Because of course they have to mention her, right? Yeah, so Kaz, Grandmaster Kaz show up, do his thing. Well, him and his crew show up as well. And then the message pops up. The iconic song, right? And then some people claim to be the greatest rap song of all time. I think Complex voted it as the best rap song of all time. I'm like, all right, I thought was
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Rappers Delight was like the greatest one because it's like the first big
Right.
commercial rap song now. But whatever, right? But yeah, Melly Mel come out, and when I saw him, right, like I make the joke, like, because of, I mean, this is a slight little detour, because we have to talk about this, because I mean, we're talking about hip hop here, right? Yeah, I thought with the huge L that this man took, earlier that week,
Right,
right?
right,
Earlier this
right.
week,
I wasn't
sorry,
following it, but
with
yeah, it
Eminem.
was some
Yeah,
nonsense.
I
Yeah,
thought that he would have kind of like duck out now,
no,
but
no,
no,
no.
he show up and he
Yeah,
sing a verse and don't push me because I'm close to the edge, right? But yeah, that's all detour now, boy, with Melly Mel and
yeah.
that distract that
At
he
Eminem,
threw at M.
and
Woof,
and
that was rough.
it's something from 1982. He dropped for me. I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah,
'Cause I
no,
think
no,
this
me,
fella make
me, no,
fun
me,
of
no,
that.
me, hurrah!
This fella
He
make fun of
doing
that.
that.
We call it Crank. Lucas made fun of it. It had a bit about it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just like,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, what the hell are you doing?
No,
Like,
no, it's cringe, yeah, but it's
real cringe.
funny as hell, though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But he had the gall to mention, how you could put Pee Wee Herman in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, bro, like Pee Wee dead last week.
yeah,
Come on, man,
exactly.
really,
Another thing,
really, Mel, come on,
right?
come
Another
on.
thing. Well, quick shout out to Tracklib. They had a nice. They were doing this for the month. This was hyping up Hip Hop 50. Tracklib was doing basically just all the biggest songs from since 1973 and just doing the sample origin.
All right,
Right, and they have a full video with it now, where the video is like about a half minute, sorry, half hour, and what it is just breaking down 50 years of the biggest hip hop hits from 50 years old from 1973, and they're showing the sample, how the sample was constructed and cut together, and then the final song, and all the biggest hip hop song. That real hard, and I've been enjoying this. Yeah, I've been enjoying this because I've seen it on TikTok and whatever. They were the best in reminding me of Hip Hop 50 was coming up. In doing that, to be honest, like just showing the history of hip hop in that way, Like, yeah, that vibes. I was enjoying that. So yeah, I recommend that video. It's half hour long. It's good. I actually download the whole track and I'm gonna put it on my phone because yeah, that's gonna be my thing now. Just a 30-minute track just running through the history of hip hop. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, vibes.
yeah,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, nice, nice, nice. But yeah, so basically the first couple of hours, or I should say 3 hours, was just about the originators of hip hop, right?
Right.
There was
Right.
a segment where DJ Cool Herc himself, who is still
Yeah.
alive by the grace of God, got this award, basically. You know what I mean? And even the person who hosted the block party that that Cool Herc performed in and pretty much invented turntablism, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
she showed up on all too. I was like, what?
Right.
Okay.
Right. I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Right. So just running through, just see the list of people, right? EPMD show up. That was cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not the biggest fan of them though, but it's cool seeing Eric and Parrish, show up and do their thing. They do some hits. So what you're seeing, you know what I mean? I love that, especially with that West Coast bounce, that roll bounce, that thing.
Yeah.
I just love that song because of that. It was just a few of the hits that they dropped. That was cool, right? Slick Rick show up, you know what I mean? He do like, Children's Story, Hey Young Will and stuff like that. He do lick the balls, which catch me by surprise. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though
I
the
was here for
sample
that.
is, one of the best in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But then around 8 o'clock now, that was when, or I should say, that's about 3 hours from then now, that's when things really started to pick up. So first you saw Lupe Fiasco. I'm glad that he kicked his set off with Kick Push. That was great. He did, it was much of my surprise, though. He did Hip Hop Save My Life. That was cool. That's off of, the album The Cool. He also, did Superstar as well. That was great. I was expecting him to do some more current songs, especially from like drill music and Zion or Tetsuo and Youth, but he didn't.
I forget to put his album and T.I.'s King album on my honorable mentions. I should have put that there too as well.
Yeah. We could talk about T.I. in a bit, but yeah, on my show, Hip Hop Top 10, Lupe Fiasco's The Cool showed up quite a few times. I was like shocked though.
Right.
Like to the point because I remember like when it came out back in 2007 and I didn't like it personally as much as Food and Liquor, but like I feel like if I listen to this one more time, like just looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, this real hard though. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed it way more, right? But yeah, Lupe Fiasco's set was great though. I was actually surprised that he was there. Like what? Okay. And I like that afterwards another Chicago MC show up. Of course, your boy Common, right? And even at 51 years old, he's still rocking the mic though. Man perform the food. The man performed the food though. Like what? The food though, you know what I mean? Which of course the song that we knew through Chappelle's show and then it ended up on the B album, right? That was like Wood, right? Yeah, he performed Ghost, so I know you, Ricardo, he was like, hey, the man performed Ghost. Right?
I was hyped.
Yeah, he performed The Light from, like Water for Chocolate. That was great. He actually ended off his set with that. I love how he incorporated a bit of Dilla's production. Because one thing they did really cool here, overall, with some performances, is that like they would swap the original instrumental and like put in another beat.
Right.
So like I was hearing
Right.
Common on that track, rap over Let's Ride. That's from from Q-Tip, right? Which Dilla produced, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was really really dope
Right.
how they put that together. That was great.
I should have put a Jadilla in my honorable mentions.
Yes, you
But
should have. Oh.
I should have. But because quick fun fact. So okay, there's a side story because of this hip hop thing. About a few nights ago, I had a dream that I was living in New York still, and Dilla and uh Nujabes had a tiny desk, right? So they were still alive in this
Wow.
parlor, and they had a tiny desk, and I went to it in person. Fun fact: Jay Dilla and Nujabes have the same birthday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's always
that's like
fun like
fucking
on that
weird, right?
day to just bump
Yeah.
the
So
instrumentals. Yeah.
imagine two goats born on the same day. Now. Study that. Now.
Yeah,
Yeah, like whatever.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was the dream. The dream I had was it was their birthday sometime in the year 2024, their 50th, and it was their 50th birthdays
Hmm.
shared, and they do the tininess on that day together.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. That,
I don't make a movie about that or something.
you
Whatever.
should.
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
just
All right,
mention RIP to Dilla and Nujabes, right? I should
yeah,
also mention there was some cool DJ sets, right? So I saw Clark Kent's
yeah,
own. Clark Kent did a sort of a RIP thing, like rest in peace to this
yeah,
guy, rest in peace to ODB, and of
yeah.
course he ended it with Biggie. That make a lot of sense. Kid
Yep,
Capri's
yeah.
own was great though, and I love that there's a moment
Right,
where he plays a bit of "Killing Me Softly," which was like a hint of what
right.
to expect later on. So that was really cool. But yeah, Kid Capri is still one of the best to do it. Like I don't know how this man does it though. Like there's a moment where he stops
Yeah,
and he has that the wired headphones there. So he just like walk
yeah,
past his table. I was just there wondering if it was going like the headphones gone yank out of his ears. It's like nope, dog. I know what I do, but I just letting the audience
yeah,
just do some acapella shit.
yeah,
I was like, I fuck with that. That real
yeah,
hard, right? Um,
yeah.
there was a great little Queens of hip hop set basically. So I
Right.
saw
That was really
Remy
good.
Ma in it as well. Trina
Right.
show up looking fine as hell in she 40s.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was shocked to see she. I was like,
I,
what?
I
Gina, who is?
know, right?
Because I thought Remy Ma would have just do this stuff with Terror Squad, but like no,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's
She
true.
do her solo
Yeah.
cuts, right? But she show up a little later. But I'll get to that in a bit,
Yeah.
right? Lil Kim, not
Right.
surprised that she would be there.
Right. Which is she still do that hilarious dance.
Yes,
that robot
yeah,
dance nonsense. Yeah.
the kind of squat and like a
Yeah. Yeah.
ducking kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like she's still in the 70s though. Sorry, still in the
Yeah. No, for
90s. You
real.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a shame that we didn't see people like Foxy Brown though. We like
Right.
in terms of like females in the 90s hip hop scene though.
Yeah.
I don't know where Foxy is right now. I hope that she
Right.
doing good, or whatever. But yeah, performance
Yeah.
wise, everybody do their thing. That was really cool, right? Then Ti show up
Yeah.
and and he had to go out to start his set with the intro to King from 2006. I would just say like, bro, this is
that's a
like a
very. I think that's a very underrated album.
no.
I
It's
forgot to put
still
that.
it's still to me his best work. It's still his best album
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that just took me back to 2006 when I heard King for the first time. When he
Yeah.
did
That was
Top Back, I was like, I love my beat down
Yeah.
low, my top laid back. Like I was just like none in my head going mad now. Of course, he ended
Yeah.
off his set with What You Know About That. Even had some
Right.
cuts from Paper Trail, so like Live Your Life with
Right.
Rihanna, Whatever You Like, which yeah, it's a song that still holds up, right? I actually remember like is one of those songs that you wouldn't like it felt was a little too commercial for Ti, but it slapped, like it was hard. I remember
Yeah.
just famously for us in Trinidad. Remember we had this doubles parody of it, you could have a doubles with slide,
Right.
pepper. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
took me back to that though. So yeah, Ti crushed it with that way. He was great. Even then his verse from Swagger Like Us, which was one of my favorite tracks off of Paper Trail. I was like,
Right.
hey, be the hand. No
Right.
one in the corner got Swagger Like Us.
That was the girl from
That is
what's she name?
oh gosh, is MIA, is an MIA sample that they use.
MIA.
I almost say
Yeah,
Santiago,
right.
but it's not her. It's MIA.
No. It's MIA.
Yeah. And that track also had Kanye and Lil Wayne, who you'll get into later. Right. So afterwards, if I'm not mistaken, Cameron showed up, right? And I was
Right.
enjoying his set. Like it was great. There's a moment where
Yeah.
He was saying, "Oh, timekeeper, whatever it is, DJ saying, I gotta leave. It's like, no, you want me to leave? No, fuck that. I'm gonna perform one more track." I was like, "Wood, that's what you had to do, Dre. Like, you are commanding the stage. You don't have nobody come and tell you, oh, you set almost up. You have 5 minutes. Man was going like 10 minutes, Dre. Like, he wasn't even there for that long, and they wanna like, shoot him. I was like, nah, let him perform, right?
Yeah.
But
And he's such a New York rapper, so it's like, come on, man.
yes, exactly. And I love this, just that, just command of the stage, right? Like, the man still know the verses to his raps
Yeah.
as well, too. So that was great. There's just one moment where I wish he could have capitalized on it too, right? When they played Dipset Anthem,
Yeah.
I thought Jules would have show up to perform two
No
verses.
Joels, yeah.
But
Yeah, we miss him, yeah.
he just performed his verse. I was like, alright, but still, though,
Yeah.
Jules could have show up. Like, and there's a moment too, like when he performs the first part of Oh Boy, I was like, alright, well, Jules coming in. It's like, no.
Nah.
Like, why?
Yeah, rough, yeah.
What he does, I really mean it. I'm like, where's Jim Jones? Come in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, Dipset should have show up, man. But I have a feeling like you seen it for yourself. You probably was thinking the same thing. Like they could have show up and do something.
That's exactly
bro.
how I was feeling. I really thought at least Joel Santana could have come true.
Yeah, boy. Havoc show up as well too, and I believe it was Big Noy that was with him because I know. Well, actually, I found this out through one of my last episodes that I recorded for Hip Hop Sub 10. Yeah, Big Noy, tags along with Havoc. So, because of course, Prodigy passed away, right? The group Mobb Deep, right?
Right.
So yeah, they do Shook One's Part 2, of course, the anthem of Queensbridge. You know what I mean? They do that. They do Quiet Storm, you know what I mean? And it was just great just seeing them just bring that grimy shit, right? Speaking of grimy shit, my boy Ghostface Killer show up alongside, well, I kind of want to call it a Wu-Tang set, but it wasn't really, because it was him, Method Man, and Inspector Deck. They were together. Capadonna actually showed up for to do his verse of Ice Cream. That was great. But again, they could have capitalized on it. They could have bring in Raekwon for Ice Cream or something dread. And I can't believe I say this way, but like Method Man could have do a verse or something dread. Like I was expecting him to do Bring the Pain or You're All I Need.
Rockweiler. I thought
or the Rockweiler or something and bring in Redman, but no, he just kind of compliment Ghostface. Ghostface, it was pretty much a Ghostface show, right? And well, I love what he was doing, similar to Common, where like they would swap beats, you know what I mean, for his raps and whatnot, so it kind of kept you guessing. Yeah, and it just showed how much of a lyricist he is. Right? He could kind of take like one of his existing raps and use that like in another beat. Though. That was really cool. But again, we could have had Raekwon in it. Though, my two gripes: Raekwon should have been there, and Method Man should have said something. Like Method Man should have rapped. Right. You know what I mean? He was just there in the back, just doing whatever, right? But anyway, for some reason they bring out a boogie with the hoodie. But I don't really know much about him per se. I know, I've seen him perform, like, see him appear a few times on other people's tracks, but I don't really know so much about his work all that well to be like, Boogie with the hoodie, right? You know what I mean? And even like in the chat, right? Because unfortunately I got to, it's live chat now. I seen people say, what's he doing there? Like he's not about the culture, blah blah blah. It's like no, it can't just be about like cats from the 80s and 90s. You gotta bring in newer people now. And I like in his case that he shouted out Pop Smoke, right? So yeah, that was great, right?
Right. I saw that, right?
Yeah. Fat Joe show up and
right.
Here's the thing, like he was great, eh? Like he brought that energy that he always brings, and he also brought out Remy Ma, so they do all the way up.
Please keep on your shoot. Sorry.
I know, right? Because he talk about, I'm gonna go topless, man. Fuck it, I'm gonna go topless. Like what they were that performance back then, right? Yeah. He did What's Love with Ashanti. That was really cool. Right. But where he get points though was when he did the Uptown Anthem, where he bring Peter Guns, Guns, that song I believe is from '97, I believe it was. Yeah, and they performed together. But yeah, though, while I was seeing Fat Joe perform, right, and yes, the man lose a considerable amount of weight though. Yeah, I was concerned about his pants, Like I thought at some point in time that man's pants would have dropped. Yeah. And you'd either see drawers or nothing underneath it. I was real concerned, right? But to his credit, he didn't do any jumping. So good thing he didn't perform lean back, or else shit would have go down, right? So, But it was real weird seeing him, like how he say topless, you know what I mean? But that was a moment. But again, I was real concerned about, the Ogoshi pants, right?
Yeah.
So now we'll get to the bottom of the ninth, as they call it, right? This is where the heavy hitters show up, right?
Yeah.
So Lil Wayne show up, right?
Yeah,
And
and he had a hard performance. He was great. Yeah.
like just the
They'll really
growth
bring
with
it.
this guy, Dread, right? For the years that he's been in the game, no less. Again, the command of the stage, how he command the audience
Yeah.
as well too, is great, right? The man bring out like tracks from Carter 2, I think in Fireman, like what? Okay. Carter 3, he bring out Mr. Carter, he bring out Mrs. Officer, like what? Okay. Of course, he had to drop, oh gosh, Lollipop. He had to drop that, you know what I mean? Because that's a song for the
Of course,
ladies, all that kind of stuff. We dropped some cuts from like the 2010s to like, oh gosh, the song that he did with Rick Ross. The same beat with I'm Not a
Right.
Star, you know what I mean? I'm not a star, but I got a chopper in the car, blah
Right.
blah blah. That one. I forgot the name of it right now, but he do that. He even do 6 foot 7 foot, which features Peter Guns'
Right.
song Corey. I was like, hey, but like how he see me rock with Peter Guns' son, you know what I mean? That was cool. And like Corey was real cracking up at that shit though. That was really cool. But yeah, performance wise, Lil Wayne was fan freaking tastic in this, right? Then Snoop Dogg show up, but before we get to Snoop, Ice Cube come true, boy, and I was glad to see him.
Yeah. Right. I saw this. Yeah.
He did. Well, of course, he did. Today was a good day. He had to do it. I like that he
Of course.
ended his set with that though. He catch me when he did We Be Clubbing from '97. Like what? We be clubbing. That's how we going. Yeah. Like the moment when he tell the crowd, yeah. I knew that song was gonna drop, right? And he did that, right? What he catch me with though was the Check Yourself remix, right? You better check, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? So that was a way to bring back, the message once again, the Grandmaster Flash song into the mix as well. And yeah, though, like even at his age, boy, that man was killing it, though. He was great. He even drop a track off of America's Most Wanted, right? With the nigga you love to hate. When I hear that though, like don't mind it was like 12:30 in the night though. I was like nodding my head to that shit, Jack. Yeah, America's Most Wanted. And that track in particular, I love that track, right? So yeah, right after Ice Cube was Snoop Dogg. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Pharrell.
Snoop stayed on for a while, dude.
He did,
Yeah,
yeah. I think Pharrell was the one who kickstarted. Well, there was a recording of him. I think he was the one who had introduced Snoop, right? If I'm not mistaken, because he was doing I forgot that jazz guy, right? The hardy, but they did a sort of a flip of it, whereas I think it's Snoopy Dogg or Snoop Doggy Dog, something like that. Like just basically to introduce Snoop Dogg, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, Snoop Dogg was there for a while though. I was surprised when he bring out well, before we get to the big people that he bring out, right? Man bring out Scar Liptred, who is this like I think she's from Brooklyn or something like that, the Bronx, whatever. But yeah, she's been blowing up she's been making like waves right now in the rap scene. Especially because he have this like real rugged hardcore edge there. So when she do this song, back the fuck up, move the fuck back, right? She was doing that now. If you ever heard that song, yeah, it's that same energy that she brings to that though. It's literally like it's like if DMX had like if one of DMX's daughters decided to rap. And she was like real aggressive. And she used to beat people a lot. That's how Scarlett is. It's like this is rugged version of DMX, right? But yeah, for a man like Snoop Dogg to introduce her into the mix, that was really great, right? He bring Wiz Khalifa, right? To do Young, Wild and Free, and I was like,
right.
Yeah, I still had to watch that movie, if you remember the movie that they were in together.
Yeah.
It's a staple for 420 now. I think it's Mac and Dre go to high school or something like that.
Okay, I don't know that song. Yeah. I don't know that movie.
Yeah, but basically it was a movie that promoted, it wasn't a big release, right? But yeah, the song promoted that movie. It was like a How High, but is
right.
Snoop and Wiz are the stars, right? So think of it as How High, but it's just them, right?
Yeah.
Never saw it, right? But yeah, the performance was cool, and Wiz do thing, and Snoop was smoking on the side because of course he had to, right? But where he took it for me, boy, was where he did his version of La Di Da Di.
Yeah.
And halfway into it,
Yeah.
he
So
brought, well, sorry,
Doggy
as he
Fresh come in.
starts off now, he brings Doggy Fresh
Yeah.
to do the beatbox, right?
Yeah.
And then near the end, he brings in Slick Rick. So Slick Rick does the last part of it. And as I said on Facebook, Doggy Fresh,
MVP.
MVP, boy.
Yeah.
Could this man do this extended
Still have it.
beatbox? That
Yeah. Still have it.
and he just kept extending. I'm just there like, dude, it's almost 1 o'clock. Like wrap it up, Jed. He kept going and going and going, and then he ends it. I'm like, that's it, you know. That's it. I don't think anything else could top that, boy. And then Nas shows up.
Yeah.
And of course, Nas had to show up, right? I mean, Master P Records. He had to show up, right? He pulled from his bag he actually starts off his set with the opening skit from Illmatic, right? Which of course samples 2 scenes and an instrumental from Wild Style, right? I actually rewatched that movie just in preparation for Hip Hop 50. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Great sort of like a quasi musical documentary, but it kind of embodies what hip hop or the early beginnings of hip hop was, right? But you should really check it out. So yeah, he came in, he did New York State of Mind. That was cool. He did The Message. That was cool. He did Made You Look. That was real cool.
Made You Look, right? Yeah.
And then he stops like halfway and brings out Cool G Rap shit. I'm like, what? And yeah, I mean, Cool G Rap, very, very, very influential when it comes to just lyricism. Yeah, 'cause I mean, yeah, Cool G Rap is regarded as one of the best lyricists in the game in terms of just constructing bars and, technical wordplay and whatnot, right? And they did Fast Life, right, which was the track that they did together. That was off of Cool G Rap's album 456, I think that's the name of it, right? But yeah, Fast Life was a big track, and it was cool seeing the two of them together. That was really great, right? And he did Ill Street Blues, I think that's the name of the song, from one of his records I think it's from early 90s, I believe it was. I think it's either Wanted, Dead or Alive, or another one. I can't remember what it was, right? But yeah, he just did a couple of songs and that was it, right? So yeah, Nas doing anything, right? And then he stopped, he talked to the audience. Well, before that now, he brings back Kool Herc and, congratulate him again for like what he was able to do. But here's the thing, The moment he started talking to the audience and saying, I wish that there was a place that I could just go and be myself.
Yep.
A place where I don't need nobody.
Yep.
When I hear that, I was like, all right, I know what song coming next.
Yep.
And then, yes, Nobody, which for me is my favorite track off of King's Disease 2, shows up, right? But I think that, he hearing the beat, he just telling himself, all right, he's just going to perform this song and maybe we might see Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill actually steps in and she's like, wait, hold up, right? And then they went like full, like live with the instrumental, right? And then she shows up and swear to God, Dread, remember, I am watching this at 1 a.m., right? I'm watching this on my smartphone right now because I didn't want to watch on my laptop screen. I was staying that shit whole day, right? But whatever. Dog, I get chills, I get chills, right? Because
yeah, that's hard.
This was literally the first and probably only instance that I will get to see Lauryn Hill perform in real time. I can't say live because remember I wasn't there at Yankee Stadium, but I saw her perform alongside Nas in real time, Tread. And that's something I can literally go and tell my kids, right? Like, yes, I saw this in real time. And then they asked me, what's real time? Or whatever. But yeah, I got chills though. She did her verse. And one thing that I always love about Nobody and her performance on that is that she rapped on it, right? You assume when it comes to Lauryn Hill, she always had to sing, right? But on that track, she just rapped it. And I love that track because of that, right? But yeah, she did that, and she did some of her sets. Well, they did, before I forget, they did If I Rule the World, Imagine That.
Which is, right, that's a hit song. Yeah.
Exactly, from 96. Yeah. And for me, that will always be the track that introduced me to Nas. Because remember, as I said in my, episode of Hip Hop Sub 10, I didn't know about Illmatic until If I Rule the World. And I recap, Illmatic is a thing, right? Boom, right? But yeah, that was great. Even though there was a point near the end of the second verse where he forget a line, but that was fine. That was fine. I like how he sort of brushed off. That was cool, right? Of course, Lauryn Hill ended up with and then we'll walk right out to the sun, and that was really cool. She did really, she sort of stretched out there, but she did well, right? She did that thing, right? Do up that thing, though. That was great. But there's a moment where she sing. but she's singing the hook for Killing Me Softly, right? And then
Hmm.
when she goes into the bridge, right, where she's doing that whoa, right, is how the camera can cut it back to the audience, right? And there I was like, I wish that I was at least a fly, well, not a fly in the wall, right? But at least I wish I was in the audience at that point in time to just hear everybody do that a cappella of the bridge from that song, right? That in itself, though, is a
Right.
moment that will live in history, right? That's everybody just doing that, right? That was great in my opinion, right? And yeah, oh yes, I forgot to mention too. She even did Fujila. She actually closed her set with
Yeah.
Fujila. She did White Club's first, which catch
Which
me by
I
surprise. Like what?
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah. That was surprised because I thought White Club was gonna come true. I was like,
yeah,
no, man, you're gonna take
boy.
it.
But
I was really hoping it because when I hear the we used to be number 10 no permanent on one thing, I'm like, he coming? No, he coming. I like
yeah,
because you're not here before.
but you know, it would have been great if like like how like say for example how Nas brought out Lauren, right? It'd be cool if Lauren could have bring out
Yeah.
Wycliffe and Prasta, but
Right. Well, I know Pras is in prison. What's going on with Pras?
yeah.
It's unclear.
But my thought is
I'm
like
not
that
sure.
chain, like, like that chain of command, like, oh, you bring somebody, okay, so I can bring somebody in too. But
Right.
it didn't play out like that. It was just Lauren, she do she thing, and yeah, that set was great though. Again, I like if there's one performance I remember from this though, is Lawrence though. Is just me seeing this in real time. Cause I've never experienced that before in my life, right? Of course, even seeing Nas perform in real time was great as well, right? And yeah, I mean, Nas closest set off great though. I think he probably ran for about like 20 minutes, right? Mainly because of Lauren's inclusion into his set, right? And to close things off, we had Run DMC. I thought that was really interesting that they ended off with
Yeah.
them now because I thought, well, Nas would be the one to end it off now. But you kind of had to bring it back to the
Right.
basics. So, yeah, Run DMC was there. They
Yeah.
did the thing. They did the hits. When I heard Run's house, I was like, nodding my head. Don't mind, it was close. It was like
Yeah.
half one. I was like, whose house? Run's house. I was like, nodding my head to that. They did Down with the King, which is still one of my all-time favorite Run DMC songs. It's a shame though that they couldn't bring Pete Rock and CL Smooth though, because those two made that song work for me though, especially Pete Rock's production. And Pete Rock's verse on that
Yeah.
song though is still one of the hardest like verses I've ever heard in my life, right? But it's a shame they couldn't get the two of them together, man. That was a missed opportunity there, right? But yeah, they do the hits. They do Peter Piper, which I love. They do Mary Mary. They do My Adidas. They even give out pairs of Adidas. You know what I mean? That was really cool as well, right?
Right.
And then well, the set pretty much ended, and that was it, right? So yeah, just in closing, no, I really enjoy this, man. But I do agree with you. They really should have promoted it a lot better. Because yeah, not just more people would have shown up, but more people would have been talking about it because well, I didn't even go on Twitter or X and see if anybody was commenting about it. But outside of me just tagging a whole bunch of people and telling them, yo, this thing going on right now, I don't think anybody really knew that it was going on to begin with, right? And that's really like strange to me, right? In my opinion, because again, we're talking about the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and yeah, you literally have like Nas and his team curating all these artists. They're under one roof for one night only. Like everybody should be talking about this, right? You know what I mean? And we literally just kind of
Yeah.
like I was reminded about it on the day itself, right? I wasn't really thinking about like in my head I was just thinking, oh, we weren't gonna get any live performances. What going on? By the way, fun fact, I see KRS-One was doing a live stream of some sort, but it was like at his place, so I wasn't sure what was going on there or why. I should mention even KRS-One show up in Fat Joe's set. 'Cause he did South Bronx, he did the Bridges Over.
Yeah.
That was really cool as well. Even though yeah, those
Right.
are diss tracks aimed at MC Shan and Roxanne Shante, who was there. But yeah, I mean they make amends like years ago, right? But it's just so strange that KRS-One could still perform a diss track like that.
To play that. Yeah.
It's weird, right? It's weird, right? But whatever. But yeah, overall though, I really enjoyed it. The length, even if I had watched it after the fact, right? The length is really intimidating though, but I understand it's the nature of the thing. It's 50 years, man, so we have to bring the best
Yeah.
and brightest. I wish that honestly that there were a few more artists. Like I was expecting to see like like a Andre or a Big Boy or you know what I mean, or a Tribe Called Quest or something like that. But I don't
Right.
know the lineup for Rock the Bells, so I assume those who perform in Rock the Bells wasn't here, right? So I don't know how things play out, but the people that were there, they did the damn thing. But for me, the highlight, of course, would be like what Dougie Fresh did at the end of his set alongside Snoop Dogg. And of course, Lauryn Hill and what she did alongside Nas. Those are the two moments that really stand out
Yeah.
to me, right? But everybody else did the damn thing. I can't complain. I'm not gonna rate this Camille's a damn concert though, but I will say it's still up on their on the Masterpiece YouTube channel at the time of
Yeah.
us recording this. So definitely check it out, right?
Yeah. Strong recommend. Yeah.
I'll close this though. I do hope that they at least have like a track list, like time codes, so
Right.
people could at least know what to jump into instead of having to download the video and skim through it and whatnot. Or sorry, scrub
No,
through
no,
it.
that's pretty much what it is. I saw that. I think I saw mostly that. So I think it's fine.
Okay, so they have time codes now for
Well,
the
I
sets.
saw the section off on the listener before I downloaded. I downloaded myself for one personal reasons, but
Right, right. Okay. Well, I'm glad they do that, right? Because I
Right.
mean, not everybody have the patience or the way at all, like I did, to watch, like I don't know, half of it on a laptop and the other half on a smartphone, right? So, but again, is that FOMO thing that just sort of kicked in? I
Yeah.
was there, like I kind of had to see it for myself, play out live, so to speak, now, or else I would
Yeah.
forgive myself, right? But yeah, I thought overall it was fantastic. I'll close this and then I guess you could give your final thoughts. Nas said Yankee Stadium. We'll see y'all next year. I don't know what that means. I don't know if we're
I don't
gonna
know what that means either.
just have this like anniversary, like hip hop anniversary thing take place every August 11th. I doubt it. I
Probably.
think that
Right.
maybe when it hits 55, when the genre hits 55 or 60, maybe then we'll see another event of this
Right.
magnitude. But that what Nas said though, I'm now thinking that this could be something annual and we might see
Yeah.
old and
As I
newer
say.
artists show up and this could be the showcase for
Right.
them, right? If that's
Right.
gonna be the case, then yeah, I am there for it. But just promote it a lot better though, Masterpiece. Like y'all have
A lot
money. All
better.
they
Yeah.
have
That's the main
money.
problem. That's all hold it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Masterpiece.
That's what pull it. That's the only thing. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
Masterpiece have money, Live Nation have money, Audible, cause that was like promoting stuff. VH1 was promoting Love and Hip Hop, so yeah, promote that shit, dog. Let more people know about it, right? But yeah, it's the real deal. If you're a hip hop head, or if you just want to be reminded of just the artists that really made just great music over the past 5 decades. Yeah, this performance, this show actually is absolutely worth checking out. Just don't let the length of it intimidate you, though. It's absolutely worth it. But yeah, Ricardo, your last thoughts and we're not reaching it, of course, but yeah, your last thoughts on it.
No, yeah, I give it a very strong recommend. It's with your time. They really had some great performances. But they should have hyped it up a little ahead of time in terms of being aware of Hip Hop 50. But yeah, I really enjoyed it for what it was. As I say, all my favorite shit play through for the most part. I will. There's a couple of little slip ups here or there that I really wish they could have gotten done. Like yeah, Redman should have been there, or Kendrick Lamar or something like that. But yeah, that's about it. It didn't really bother me too much. For the most part, they got what they had to get right, and they got most of it reasonably well. If they're doing this annually and they could get it more organized going forward, I would love that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Every year, Yankee Stadium, you make a big deal out of it, and yeah, you have effectively a real strong hip hop in the middle of the summer. That's solid. Can't be mad at that. So yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah,
and
strong
one
recommend.
last thing, yeah, one last thing before we move on though. This was a great because we haven't had a versus this year. I was hearing that we may have one later on this year with Jimmy Dupree and Diddy.
Okay.
But this is for 2023 more than made up for versus though. Like I was watching,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, I don't really like need versus though. Like if we have something
Versus,
as
yeah,
big
they
as
good versus,
this,
right? Versus work in the pandemic era.
pandemic. That's
That
right.
that that why it work. Because it's just two guys streaming and they make it work. But they don't try to organize it as a proper event. They just fuck it up. Because I still don't like some of them verses. Whatever.
All right, but no, but I mean, we had great ones like we had with Dipset and Lux. That was hard. That was live. But
I
it's
thought I was really disorganized. I didn't like that at all. I thought it was real one sided and I didn't
all
like that.
right,
I
all
thought that
right,
was
all
crap.
right. Well, I thought more you talk about this mere fact that they were on stage performing the greatest hits, but whatever, right?
I agree, but it's like yeah, but it's still half assed, because it was just like Jada Kiss was the only man trying some.
That's true. Well, no, G, the Kiss held everything on his back, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, to
Exactly.
be honest.
So
Well, of course, Cameron on the Dipset side, right? But I think just,
yeah,
before, let's just wrap it up here, right? Yeah, I think the reason why they may not do the live thing again is because of what happened with 3-6 Mafia and Boone Thugs and Harmony. Remember that little
right,
scuffle that took
right.
place? That was kind of funny in
Yeah.
retrospect, but
Yeah.
it comes so unexpected. Everything just came to a complete halt there. So I think it's the unexpectedness, the rowdiness. Now, remember, them men just come with like 50 deep and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
With shows, with events like this, no, it's just the artists and a few people who supposed to hype up the crowd and supporting them with background
Yeah.
vocals. It's not like a whole squad, we just looking for somebody saying, "Oh, fuck you," and then they jump in the stage and beat them. We're not doing that. That's what
Yeah.
versus get away
Yeah.
with.
No, but I mean, as I say, we cannot done with that, to be honest. But my attitude is that you either do this small thing and you record that like an event. So you do this small tiny desk thing, which I find tiny desk is like the ideal thing. Or you do the concert, like you do that. We have a really well organized concert and you make that work. With this, as I said, I do think if it was in a smaller venue, it probably would have get a better job. And I think the only thing that Nas slipped on, well, Master P and Nas slipped on with that was the whole. I felt they could have just get better camera people. Like I'm sure this is recorded, and they're probably gonna get like a small documentary or something gonna come out of this after that, like a recorded after the fact concert kind of something, maybe. But as it was as a live stream, it wasn't particularly well put together.
Yeah,
For
as to bring up
but
that, sorry to
as I
cut
say,
you,
it's a
as to bring
live
up that,
stream.
there were a few instances where, like, I don't think it was like on the stage itself, but there were a few moments where, like we as the viewers couldn't really hear the audio properly, right? And there was
Right.
moments on stage where
Exactly.
mics
Exactly.
was like shortened. You know what I mean? Like, case in point when
Yeah.
when Snoop brought back EPMD, yeah, mics was working properly, dread, and like Snoop literally had to say,
Yeah.
bring that shit back, and then they do the song again. I was like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
So yeah, they had to get that organization on that technical level to get it done well. But yeah, for the most part, I didn't hate this at all. This was pretty good.
Right.